A battle that has lasted half a century, a fight for choice, a fight for all women, a fight for one woman. I am pro-choice. There is a preconceived notion against men and women who claim themselves as pro-choice. There is a misunderstanding that those claiming the title pro-choice are as well claiming the title pro-abortion. This is not true. It is not a pro or anti-abortion conversation. In actuality, it is a conversation over whether a woman should be allowed to decide for herself what is the best decision in her situation. This is often where the divide in belief occurs. Many do not truly understand what it is to be pro-choice. It's a continued fight for women's rights, and specifically the right to continue on with a pregnancy or not. An issue stemming within this argument is that men hold more than 50% of government offices, and no man has the right to voice his opinion on a woman's body. Should it be his sister, his mother, or even his wife, a man will never understand what it is to be a woman and therefore has no right to speak on what he cannot know. Some would disagree with such a notion, but a man will never be able to describe what it is to be pregnant or give birth. So then why should he voice an opinion on whether one has the right to continue on with the pregnancy or end it for what reason they believe is enough? In this present time, in fact, our own president has deemed himself a voice on this matter and is fighting against a woman's right to choose. He has spouted hateful words, stating that women should be punished for making such a choice, disregarding the circumstances a woman may be facing that forced her to go down this path. In 1973, a new era for women in the U.S. began. The Supreme Court case Roe v. Wade began the right for abortion for every woman in the United States. Since this political triumph, over half the states have begun to restrict access to abortion. In the past 2 years alone, just over half of the country has passed 111 restrictions on abortion. In Louisiana, a woman is shown her ultrasound before being allowed to proceed with a scheduled abortion. In Mississippi, a provider must be an obstetrician with privileges at a local hospital for admittance. This same law closed many clinics within Texas where the Roe v. Wade case actually took place. Nearly half of all pregnancies are unplanned. Half of those unplanned pregnancies, 1.2 billion being the estimation, will end in an abortion. It's a sad and scary thought that 1.2 million women will end their pregnancy this year in an abortion, but we cannot claim to understand their circumstances. An estimated 32,101 pregnancies will result from rape in a year alone. Why should we force a woman who has been traumatized and assaulted to remain pregnant with that criminal's baby? This as well just being a 9-month-long reminder. Maybe she's just 20, a new adult into the world. She has a night of fun and ends up with a baby that she cannot and does not have the means to take care of. Some would say that this is her responsibility, that it was her fault. And as a responsible woman, she will not bring a baby into a world where it may not be properly fed, clothed, or taken care of. Many as well claim adoption as a substitute, and that they themselves will take up that responsibility, neglecting the 102,000 already up for adoption, or the 13 million children around the world whom are forced to live without parents. Pregnancy is not mandatory, and no matter the reason, any woman should be allowed to the right to choose. A personal story described by a young woman who had an unexpected pregnancy when she was 17 came into my path. She was already trying to raise her younger sister while finishing high school and working a job. When she discovered she was pregnant, she realized that she would not be able to financially or emotionally support another child. Neither would her boyfriend. She went to Planned Parenthood and had an abortion. To this day, she does not regret her decision. While it was hard for her, she knew that bringing a child into such a situation was irresponsible and unhealthy. She is now pregnant and stable within her life and is excited to meet her son in 3 short months. A friend of mine as well was told quite recently that her own mother had an abortion before she met her father. She was 22 and unprepared. After discussing her own opinion on what her mother had done, she described that she had at first been hurt and mad that she had never met and lost a sibling. After some time and speaking with her mother on the subject, she was able to understand that her mom was just not in the right headspace to raise or take care of a child. And both her and her husband are quite religious, him even being a well-respected pastor in their community. And many, many more Orthodox religious people are more pro-life than pro-choice in the matter. Another major factor in the fight for choice is that many consider the fetus to be a living thing from the moment one discovers its existence. Bodily autonomy is a basic human right. A fetus, which is biologically dependent on the mother for sustenance, has yet to acquire bodily autonomy, as it cannot self-govern due to its dependence. A fetus is not its own being. Many states have as well tried to pass laws deeming abortion illegal at 22 weeks, claiming the fetus can feel pain. This has been deemed untrue and without evidence by many medical professionals. An illegal and/or unsafe abortion should never be the last resort. For a minute, ignore yourself and how you might handle the situation. 20 million unsafe and illegal abortions take place each year, resulting in over 68,000 maternal deaths. This does occur more regularly in countries where abortions are completely outlawed, third countries, but this does display that whether or not it is legal, abortions will occur. It is on us to allow it in a safe and clean environment. This speech is not meant to claim one's belief or ideas above another or make anyone feel wrong. I am pro-choice. I am not pro-abortion. Many of those whom are pro-choice have stated that they too would never be able to go through with an abortion or even think of an abortion and are not pro-abortion. But why should one person's religious or non-religious beliefs decide how and what one decides to do with their own body? The fight for the right of choice is ongoing and may last another century, but it is a fight worth continuing. I am pro-choice because a woman's sexual health and reproductive choices are none of my business.